Howdy and hi, and welcome back to Westward Quests. I'm your host, Steve West, and today I want to kind of hit on the military museum here located off the 192 in Kissimmee. So here, real quickly, kind of show you where we're located at. That's the 192 area. And here is the building. Kind of quick shot out to here, educating the world about the cost of freedom. If I could read. So sorry, guys. Museum of Military. And so this is a veteran tribute, and myself as a veteran, Air Force veteran, 8 years, always kind of love this stuff. And so I wanted to kind of show you as the viewer at home. And real quick, kind of times here. It looks like they're closed on Mondays, but everything else is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And some admissions pricing. Looks like adults are $14, seniors $13, students $12. It would say veterans $11. Kids 5 and under are free. Active duty in uniform is free. All right, let's go inside. All right, so hey, kicking off the tour here at the Military Museum in Kissimmee of the 192, and it starts with the Revolutionary War. And pretty cool stuff because it looks like there's a lot of stuff from the movie. I genuinely like this movie. I think that it probably got a bad rap for being, not as authentic as it could have been. But Revolutionary War, Colonial War, hunting frock. This here, this is a wardrobe from the Patriot. Oh, from the movie. Okay. Oh yeah, right up there at the top. The Patriot. It's pretty cool. Old sailing ship. Always wanted one of these in my house. Maybe one of these days I actually get one. Oh yeah. That's the uniform. Continental Congress, We the People, 1812 to 1815. When Canada burned down the White House. 1835, USS Constitution. Check out some of these uniforms. Bullhead War Club, Hand Axe, Texas Revolutionary War, Civil War stuff. And I used to be a big Civil War buff. I used to get really into a lot of this type of stuff. I actually have a small collection of a few, but mostly like Union type stuff. Union Army, yeah, look at this stuff. Rifleman, cavalry. Centennial gun. Some of the bullets, I actually have a bullet just like that somewhere. Reading by 60 cal, 54 cal, 44 caliber, 44 for 38. It's interesting. The evolutionary changes through the musket style. So you'd have these little balls eventually kind of started changing to look a little bit more like bullets. Flintlock musket lock. That's pretty cool. Artillery fused shears. They got a video going up in here. Pictures. This is pretty cool stuff. Lots of uniforms. I can kind of just looking through real quick. A lot of kind of setup stuff. Rifles, pictures. Confederate butternut brown wool shell jacket. Oh, little bugle. Too, I also replica. It's not a real, but a replica bugle. American Civil War. Yeah, some more of this. Those old school swords. So I had a buddy of mine growing up in elementary school, and he was really already into the Civil War. He watched the movie Gettysburg, and that was like his jam. And he kind of got me and a couple other kids who were like really involved with it. And then my favorite movie at that time was the movie Glory. Oh man. And I still to this day I think that movie is really, really good. CSA, Confederate States of America. Cannon. A bayonet. Pretty cool. And look at this. This is like a full-on library back here. World War II, D-Day, Medal of Honor, books, all kinds of stuff. German elite units. Battle of the Bulge. These little diorama type things down here. That's pretty cool. These are cool. USS Intrepid, donated by Ken Hills. So, I have kind of a long storied history with the military in my family. So, my great-grandfather was in the Navy and actually ended up in the Air Force at one point in his career, and then civil service long after that as well, but he was a POW. My grandfather on my mom's side was in the U.S. military and actually ended up getting injured in Korea. And my grandfather on my dad's side was in the Air Force, and then I was in the military for 8 years, for Air Force. So, a special place in my heart for veterans and all those out there serving. Thank you. Again, look at this stuff. Wow. And this is Napoleonic War. No, this is the books for Napoleonic War. Sorry, this is a Roman Navy. Yes, it is. Look at that. It's so cool. The shields. There's like a little fortress up in the top there. Little guys rowing. That is the coolest stuff in the world to me. Again, one of these days, I want to have one of these big ships in my house. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's the coolest stuff ever. I mean, like, it's just so cool. I'm not even in the Navy. My stepbrother is in the Navy. My brother was in the Air Force as well for 3 years. And yeah, like I said, my stepbrother's still serving in the Navy. So you're going out there. Thank you, Jesse. Spanish-American War. Great pictures, great use of uniform type stuff. Great dioramas. I think for my ticket was $11 for my son, who's here. He's running around. I think everything was $27 altogether. I mean, this is a steal for coming out here and looking at this museum. I can't recommend this stuff more. It's really cool. World War I. Okay, so they need kind of the progression as it goes through for all these veterans and kind of periods of war. So yeah, look at this. Like what it would be like down in the trenches. The wire, the cans, all that. Wow. And there you have it. Look. It's like really wooden, old kind of modeled airplane up there. The gas masks. I think we kind of showed these a little bit before, but take a look at them again because I think they're so cool. The biplanes. I guess a triplane. Wow. when I was active duty, one of the things that they were talking about at that time, so I was active duty from uh, 2006, no, 05 to 2013. It feels like a whole lifetime ago. But they were talking only like 27 World War I veterans still left. And I know at this time there's no more left. Very sad, but, you know, they were talking 100 years ago now at this point. Wow. Helmet. Real material.
There were racial riots in so many places, which is known as the Red Summer because it was a summer in which there was blood spilled. Many of the riots in the past.
Dog tags. John Richter's. Personal items. This all looks like a personal collection that was donated here. Wow. This looks like a big flare type gun. Yeah. World War I French model 1914 27mm flare pistol. That's amazing. Look at this stuff. Some old photos. This looks like it was been personally donated. Dog tags. I have a bunch of stuff left over from my military, and yeah, I don't necessarily know if they'd ever want anything from me, but I don't know. Maybe some cool stories. Didn't do very much. Oh, okay. Hold on. So this is the 42nd Aero Squadron in the right field. Okay, so I actually was part of a 42nd Attack Squadron when I was in the military. This is pretty cool. And I know that it has roots going way, way back, and so maybe this is the same kind of connection of it. So when I was stationed at Creech Air Force Base, wow, look at that. We were the 42nd, and I think since then that squadron has stayed down or it's changed. But we were a drone, our RPAs. Call them at the time, the remote piloted aircraft. You know, I think the more colloquial term for everybody and myself would be the drone program. And I was part of that squadron. I did a lot of support for them. That's so cool. This looks like a Navy photo. CO-33. Wow. Like we're crossing into World War II here. Yeah, look at a Canadian uniform. RAF, Royal Air Force stuff. Look at these. Wow. Look at some kind of rocket launcher. Gram. Yeah. Old cash register donated by the U.S. Navy Armed Guard Merchant Marine Museum. Operating button. This is heavy. It's really good shape too. It's cool. The depth charge. Fast sinking depth charge. Yeah, so in addition to all my other family too, my grandmother was a Women's Air Corps member too. So a lot of history with the Women's Army Air Corps. So she served with them, and then after for the U.S. Navy and doing like the payroll accounting stuff, she used to say that she would cover. She used to say she used to run payroll for the Blue Angels, so there was always kind of a really cool connection. They said they used to love her. She made sure they got paid on time. Wow, look at all this stuff, guys. This is all kind of scary stuff out here. but it's real. I mean, like some of this I'm sure is replicas. Some of this has been donated. This is my great grandfather. He was a POW in Japan. When he was in the Navy. There's a woman in naval uniforms, it looks like. Submarine veteran. That's a for that. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Now it looks like we're kind of moving towards more of a Vietnam type era. Maybe still World War II. Yeah, there was a lot of this is Japan, World War II type stuff still. This piece of equipment kind of threw me off a little bit more as far as it being a little different than that, but Tuskegee Airmen. So actually, when I was in the military, I worked with somebody who had purchased a aircraft, and I think he was originally supposed to do aerial acrobatic stuff with it, and then he found out by submitting the paperwork for the part numbers of that, it was actually a Tuskegee trainer aircraft, and I mean he fixed it up, made it look like that. He would show it at air shows. Captain at the time, I'm sure he's like a colonel now or something, but thanks for doing that. It meant a lot to a lot of people. Wow, look at the tank. This right here is very interesting. I wonder that Kennedy had similar kind of coconut type thing that he wrote something on, and he actually had it placed on his office desk. Now I know it's probably some kind of replica or something that's similar to that. A bomber jacket. This is all kind of Nazi uniform type stuff from the war. MG-34. Germany invaded. This is a technical side. The T. The Army uniform. USS Vance. Pitbull. So this is a PT 109. So this one would have been the one that Kennedy. I want to say that he had the 109. And so this would have been a replica of what that looked like. So I'm a crazy history buff. I might not always be accurate on the spot here with looking at all these items. Just kind of giving a quick review, but yeah, my friend listen to a lot of podcasts and catch up on military history, catch up on just world history. It's always something that's intrigued me. Yeah, I'm actually listening right now to a whole thing on Alexander the Great and his experiences and kind of the rise from when he took over for his father, and that evolution through there and the conquest of the known world at that. So look at all this that way. Wow. Yeah, so Women's Air Force Service pilots. So my grandmother was not a pilot. I think she served in some kind of a support function. Yeah, USS Diego Garcia. Naval Support Force, Antarctica. Wow. So let's see if they have more of, as we continue to kind of evolve. My aircraft was a C-130 M&P, so I was on both of those, the MC-130 N and P models. and I trained with that. It was a radio operator. Komodos, female Komodos, male Komodos. Huh. These are a bunch of pistols. And Japan surrenders, 1945. And the Korean War. Like I said, this was my grandfather. He was Canadian and enlisted in the military and was sent off to Korea and got a citizenship. He ended up getting injured. There's a Marine Corps uniform. Major Skip Donald. The Air Force Strategic Command. Here we go. So this right here is Technical Sergeant. Old school one. They kind of changed up the insignias at some point later on. Military dog handling stuff for the U.S. Air Force. Gerard. The military police. I saw. They didn't wear this, like the Nomex jacket here and the dog handling gloves. Maybe they did the dog handling gloves. We only worked with them a couple times. In fact, I was on a training thing where we flew out with helicopters in the middle of the desert, landed, and watched all these people with training dogs like rush out the back of the aircraft and do some training exercise. And we were basically just tag-alongs on that to get an experience. And we just flew back and left them there. And I was like, okay, they're all good. Time here at this place. This is definitely much more Vietnam era type stuff. In fact, yeah, there's the memorial there. I've actually been to that location. I was really young. Okay, let's see. Yeah, typical Viet Cong tunnel complex. And I had heard about this kind of crazy stuff, is that they'd have hospitals and schools and kitchens. Yeah, exactly. All kinds of things like this. And they would take bicycles and like travel between these areas because they could just get through really quickly. Black pajama, female Viet Cong soldier. There's kind of these helmets here. Wow. Look at this. So, be fair to me. I've been out for quite a long time. In fact, I've been out longer now than I was in. But I still have really good memories about my time with the Air Force and the military. And look at all these coins, challenge coins. So if I get something wrong or make a mistake on here, I'm not trying to by any means. Look at this Air Force stuff. Oh, the SR-71 Blackhawk. They were kind of the coolest group of people I worked with, for sure. I mean, fighter pilots and everything else were really awesome as well. But I always felt like they had the strongest connection with the people who had like the bomber backgrounds, the B-52s, B-1s. Even some of the pilots that I worked with in the C-130s weren't as kind of chill and relaxed as the other guys who maybe go supersonic quite often. Let's take a look over here. Air Education Training Command, Arizona Guard. It's Major. Navy stuff for the Seabees. Coast Guard stuff. Look at this stuff. It's like Russian era hats. This is all kind of Cold War type stuff. And we also had to have rearming points as well, because our Apache 72 of these heavy attack helicopters. To be fair, I think I actually have a hat that's just like this. I bought it in on the Berlin Wall, and I have it somewhere in my house. I think probably same type of quality. I think it's maybe a replica of some kind. This is yeah, I know I'm giving you kind of a pretty decent overview of this stuff, but I would totally recommend you guys come out here, see all this stuff in person. Cool. Air Force One onboard T-set. You too can take a look at this stuff. Now, I never got to go on Air Force One, but I did knock, and it's like they call it the Doomsday plane. It's kind of like 100 ways to communicate, and it's basically built around the idea of like something bad happens, it's a mobile command that you can fly around and do all kinds of action on it. That was really cool, and it's cool because it has this big long antenna out the back. You can like tuck to subs and all kinds of cool stuff. Iraq 2009. This is kind of right in the middle of when I was there, as far as the stuff goes. I have spent many a day in a Humvee. So if anybody ever asks you for the keys to the Humvee, just remember there are no keys. I was 1 point tactical vehicle certified. And I will tell you, Humvees are one of the better pieces of equipment that you can get into. You can just anything like, oh, there's a mountain. Let's go drive over that real quick. Nothing stops you. It's so cool. I know that they've swapped out a bunch of equipment now at this point, but I remember this was the one where we spent so much time. This feels lighter than what I'm maybe kind of used to. But maybe it was this big. I just don't recall it correctly the same way. Time moves funny in that way. Surgical equipment, bandages, This goes out to chaplains. I had a friend of mine who, he actually my best friend in the military. He was a chaplain assistant, so I spent a lot of time with the chaplains and the church and all that over there, just kind of by association. And it was actually surprisingly a lot of programs, a lot of fun. There's, I don't really consider myself too religious, but the group that they had there, pretty strong group of people and a good support system. And yeah, interesting. Yeah, the airport.
People need to realize what that represents.
This right here,
People lost their lives in
they
these
got a
fights.
video going on.
Serving a mission.
They got little chairs and everything set up over here.
Feeling very privileged to serve with others. Felt the same way.
F-36, don't touch. Hopefully I didn't touch it. I don't remember. Some Navy stuff. Special Forces. Yeah, it's a flight checklist. Oh man, we had one of these for the C-130, and it was just like, there was like 5 or 6 of these type books. And granted, I got maybe for this flight manual one, for this book, you just keep things kind of tight and small, but ours we're just bringing an entire caseload of books on board, and for any scenario. This we would have in every dining facility I ever went to, and it's kind of a space, a table to remember for any of the POWs out there. And it would always look something very similar to how this is set up. The dining facility, DFAC. And then, yeah. Well, that kind of covers all of it. I mean, there's some NASA stuff over here. There's, this covers kind of everything from the Revolutionary War. Actually, this covers everything kind of from the Revolutionary War all the way up to Desert Storm in the kind of Operation OEF. And yeah, cool opportunity to come out here. Pretty approachable pricing. Great displays. If you're a history fan, if you like military history, or you just want to kind of take the family out and you haven't, you're on vacation and you want to break away from the parks or anything like that, this is a great spot to do it at. Take a half a day, come out here, maybe unwind and hit the pools later on. But this is, definitely powerful. It's probably a great term to use here. But in addition to that, it's really kind of hands-on, explore, kind of museum-wise, powerful stuff. So, hey, give an opportunity, like and subscribe if you haven't to already. The Westward Quests here. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.